Hola y buenos días. Yo soy el señor Morris. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Today, we're going to start the final unit for this year called Vamos de Vacaciones. Okay, now during this unit, we'll be talking about places that you might want to go on vacation and things that you may need if you're going to go on vacation and ways to travel when you go on vacation. Okay, now I hope you enjoy this unit and I hope you learned something from it. Pero primero vamos a cantar nuestra canción de saludos. Canten conmigo. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo se sienten? Yo me siento bien. Muy bien. Well, I tell you what, let's start today's lesson by going over the alphabet and having a spelling dictation activity. So remember to have something to write with and something to write on ready so that we can take the dictation after you watch this. Ahora, presten atención y repitan todos.
A. América. B. Biblioteca. C. Ciudad. Che. Chico. D. Dos. E. Escuela. F. Familia. G. Gobierno. H. Hospital. I. Iberia. J. Juego. K. Kilo. L. Libro. Y. Llama. M. México. N. 9. Ñ. Ñoclo. O. Oficina. P. Policía. Q. 15. R. Restaurante. R. Correos. S. 7. T. Tío. U. 1. B. 20. W. Washington. X. Xilófono. Y. Yo. Z. Zoológico.
Muy bien. Ahora saquen papel y pluma o lápiz para escribir estas letras. Go ahead and write these letters down. See if you can get these words correctly. Okay? Here we go. We'll start with this one. N. O. T. A. Did you get that? N. O. T. A. Okay, you should have gotten this word right here. Nota. N. O. T. A. Nota. Did you get that one? Let's try another one. Ready? Now this one's a little bit longer. Listen carefully. M. U con acento. S. I. C. A. Okay. Let me give that one to you again so that you can check it. M. U con acento. S. I. C. A. You think you got it? Did you get this word? M. U con acento. And you see the acento there? The accent? S. I. C. A. What does that spell? Música. Música. Muy bien, muy bien. I tell you what, go ahead now and write down these letters for our scrambled word today and see if you can figure out the word during today's lesson. Okay? Now it's going to be one of the words that we'll be discussing during our lesson today. La palabra es R, E, J, A, O, B, I. Did you get that? R, E, J, A, O, B, I. Let me see, did you get these? Here we go. R, O, J, A, O, B, I. Rehaobi. Rehaobi. Now that's a scrambled word, but that is one of the words that we'll be discussing during our lesson today. So see if you can unscramble that. Well, I tell you what, you help me remember at the end of the class. I'll come back to that one to see if anybody can get it. Let's go ahead and begin today by reviewing what we talked about in our last unit on música y los instrumentos. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a flashcard and you answer these by the time I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Instrumentos de cuerda. 1, 2, 3. La guitarra. 1, 2, 3. El guitarrón. 1, 2, 3. El violín. 1, 2, 3. El arpa. 1, 2, 3. Instrumentos de percusión. 1, 2, 3. La batería. 1, 2, 3. El tambor. 1, 2, 3. Las castañuelas. 1, 2, 3. Las maracas. 1, 2, 3. El güiro. Oh, I like that one. 1, 2, 3. Instrumentos de viento. 1, 2, 3. El clarinete. 1, 2, 3. La flauta. 1, 2, 3. La armónica. I always like that one because it just says it right up there. 1, 2, 3. La trompeta. 1, 2, 3. Instrumentos de teclado. Now it might be tough. 1, 2, 3. El órgano. 1, 2, 3. El piano. 1, 2, 3. El clavicordio. All right. Now, as I mentioned earlier, in this unit, we'll be discussing vacations. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and start by brainstorming some words that you might think of when you think of vacations. Okay? Go ahead and work with your teacher. If you want to put me on pause, you can do that. Maybe you can do some mapping activities and think of all of the things that you can when you think about vacations. Well, I hope you get a chance to do that in your classroom. Here are some of the words that I thought of. Okay, if we're talking about vacations, one of the things that I think about is to travel. To travel. Now, get out your Spanish notebooks so that you can write these down. To travel in Spanish is viajar. Viajar. Because you remember that J, la J, that sounds like an H from English. Viajar. To buy. Because you buy tickets, you buy things when you're there. To buy is comprar. Comprar is to buy something. To pay. When you buy something, you have to pay. Okay? Y en español es pagar. So go ahead and get these down in your notebooks. To pay is pagar. A travel agency. You might go to a travel agency to get your travels arranged. And en español, agencia de viajes. Go ahead and write this down. This is a cognate. Agencia looks like agency. And viajes comes from to travel. Viajar. Viajes is travel. Agencia de viajes. Money. Oh, something you're definitely going to need if you go on vacation. Y en español, dinero. Dinero. Okay? Hotel. This is where you may stay when you go on vacation. And this one's pretty easy in Spanish. It is hotel. Hotel. Now you hear that you don't pronounce the H in Spanish, so it just sounds like hotel. Hotel. Okay? A traveler, a person who travels. Remember in English we said we add this ER. Well, in Spanish we add the ERO, so we have viajero. And you see that this comes from the word viaje, or viajar, and a person who does that is a viajero. So that's the ending that we put on words to make them into people who do something in Spanish. Oh, and if you're going to go out and eat, you'll probably go to a restaurant. And this is, again, pretty easy. En español es restaurante. 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 Okay. Now, to help you guys remember these, and I hope you've gotten all of these into your notebooks, to help you guys go over these, I thought I'd show you some of the little pictures that we have here that we use. Okay. Here's the guy. He just bought something. She's here at the register, and she's giving him some of this. He has paid. Oh, and to pay is pagar. To pay is pagar. You see that? He just paid. Pagar. Oh, and this is the place you go. Here's the person who helps you, and they arrange your travel to Mexico or La Playa. This is el agencia de viajes. El agencia de viajes. The agency of travels. The travel agency. This is what you need. Dinero. Dinero. And this is where you're going to stay. Un hotel. Remember, you don't pronounce the H. Hotel. The people who go are los viajeros. And remember, this is viajar, viajeros. So that's all related. And where you might eat is un restaurante. Un restaurante. Okay. Well, we'll go over those again several times. As a matter of fact, we'll probably go over them in the activity sheet. But before we get to that, vamos a practicar el TPR. TPR. So get yourselves all set for this. Y ahora, presten atención y participen todos. All right, here we are again. Let's go ahead and do what we always do. Let's review, and then we'll see if we can add something new, okay? Let's see how you guys remember. Párense. Oh, yeah, this is too easy. Siéntense. Párense. Caminen. Espérense. Voltéense. Voltéense. Caminen. ¡Ay, espérense! Voltéense. Caminen y siéntense en la silla. Okay. Párense. Okay, good. Siéntense. And now, we've been adding some things as we go along here. So remember, this is the one that I always tell you. It should sound really familiar. Do you guys remember this one? Canten. Ya, espérense. Okay. Now, listen carefully. Let's see if you guys can do this. Escuchen. Párense. Espérense. Párense, caminen y canten. Dale. Caminen y canten. Caminen, caminen y canten. Espérense. Voltéense. Caminen y canten. Basta, siéntense. Okay. Now, last time we talked about this. Silla. Piso. Piso. Toquen la silla. Toquen la silla. Toquen el piso. Toquen la silla. Toquen el piso. Toquen la silla. Okay. Párense. There you go. Now I want to see if you guys can do this too. Siéntense en el piso. Okay, good. Párense. Siéntense en las sillas. Well, you guys are doing a really good job. Now let's see. That's almost all we have time for today, but I want to try something new. So let me see. Emilia. Emilia, párate. Emilia. Siéntate en Alexis. Okay. You guys are doing a great job. I hope you can stick with it. We're going to try this again later. We'll see you. Good job, guys. Sit down, anybody? You be careful and do what your teacher tells you in your class. Ahora vamos a repasar con la hoja de actividades llamada las vacaciones. Let's go ahead and look at that now. Here's my sheet. Voy a escribir mi nombre, R-O-B-E-R-T-O. Now, the instructions say, unscramble the vocabulary words from today's lesson. So I hope you have all those written in your notebooks. Then, match the word to the picture which represents it. Well, there are a lot of them here, and these are all of the words that we went over. Here's one that I recognize pretty fast, so I'm going to do this one. This is hotel. H-O-T-E-L. And now once I've written the word, I'm going to draw the picture. I'm going to draw the line from the word to the picture. Okay. So, those are all of the words that we discussed today. And I showed you pictures. So you can go ahead and unscramble those and see if you can match those words up with the pictures which they represent. Okay. Now, muy bien. Today we began our introduction to las vacaciones. And we talked about some of the basic vocabulary. We reviewed our TPR. Next class, we'll start to look at places that you might want to go on vacation. And you can start thinking about that now. Pero saben que ya es hora de despedirnos. Before we go, did anyone get our adivinanza today? Did anyone get the scrambled word? Okay, here it is. The letters were Rehaovi. Rehaovi. Did anybody unscramble those to get viajero? Viajero, a traveler. Okay. Did you get that? And now remember that comes from the word viajar, which is to travel. Okay. Well, we're going to try some more of those later. But ahora tenemos que despedirnos for our goodbye song today. I'd like to sing La Cucaracha. Canten conmigo. Todas las muchachas tienen en los ojos dos estrellas, pero las mexicanitas de seguro son más bellas. La cucaracha, ya no quiere caminar, porque no tiene, porque le falta dinero para gastar. Until we see each other next class, adiós y hasta luego.